We will discuss top 100 MCQs of pedagogy. These solved MCQs are important for teachers' recruitment. Helpful for HST, JEST, and PST test. Note, these are most repeated MCQs. 1. The word pedagogy means A. To understand the child, B. To guide the child, C. To lead the child, D. To educate the child. Right answer is C. 2. Pedagogy is the study of A. Education, B. Learning process, C. Teaching methods, D. Guiding students. Right answer is C. 3. Most important work of teacher is A. To organize teaching work, B. To evaluate the students, C. To deliver lecture in class, D. To take care of children. Right answer is A. 4. When a teacher enters his class on the first day, the theme of discussion should be A. Course content, B. School principal, C. School building, D. Introduction. Right answer is D. 5. The students learn most from those teachers who A. Are gentle, B. Are always ready for discussion, C. Express their ideas comprehensively and clearly, D. Works hard. Right answer is A. 6. What can be useful in motivating some students to learn? A. Competitions, B. Collisions, C. Compositions. Right answer is A. 7. A teacher should be A. Honest, B. Diligent, C. Dutiful, D. Punctual. Right answer is C. 8. The primary duty of a teacher is to be responsible to his or her A. Students, B. Nation, C. Society, D. Family. Right answer is A. 9. Primary teachers should give top priority to A. Understanding the community, B. Understanding the colleague teacher, C. Interaction with the parents, D. Understanding the child. Right answer is C. 10. Which of the skills do you consider most essential for a teacher? A. To read out the textbook, B. To communicate well, C. To use difficult language, D. To impress students. Right answer is B. 11. The best technique of teaching at primary stage is A. Self-learning, B. The traditional blackboard and chalk technique, C. Game technique, D. Practical training. Right answer is C. 12. The new curriculum should be introduced A. Abruptly, B. Continuously, C. Gradually, D. Relatively. Right answer is C. 13. Curriculum revision should be a process A. Abrupt, B. Continuous, C. Gradual, D. Relative. Right answer is B. 14. Bright students can be motivated well by A. Raising their aspiration level and goals of life, B. Introducing novelty in strategy, C. Giving them quick feedback. Right answer is A. 15. A teacher must check his own unruly behavior because A. Principal will take action, B. Students will not like it, C. Parents will complain, D. He is dealing with impressionable age. Right answer is D. 16. Aniela is 8 years old girl. She does not like to study. You as a teacher? A. Requests her to study despite she is not interested, B. Give her oral work, C. Describes the benefits of study, D. Leave on her own in the class. Right answer is C. 17. Good reading aims at developing A. Understanding, B. Sensitivity, C. Pronunciation, D. Increasing factual knowledge. Right answer is A. 18. Success in developing values is mainly development upon A. Family, B. Society, C. Government, D. Teacher. Right answer is D. 19. A teacher is considered successful only if he A. Understands his subject well, B. Gets his articles published in popular magazine, C. Gives 100% examination result, D. Is gentle and easily approachable. Right answer is D. 20. How does an effective teacher make students attentive in class? A. By distributing sweets, B. By punishing naughty children, C. By making one's teaching interesting, D. By telling stories. Right answer is C. 21. In pedagogy, computer is used to A. To motivate the learner, B. To provide feedback, C. To interact with the learner, D. For all the above. Right answer is D. 22. The able teacher is one who A. Inculcates the interest in the subject among students, B. Helps all the students in passing the examination, C. Engaged the students in their work, D. Maintains peace in the class. Right answer is C. 23. The process of selecting units from a population to estimate characteristics of the population is called A. Analyzing, B. Inference, C. Research, D. Sampling. Right answer is D. 24. An aspect of pragmatism is experiential learning, which says, education should come through A. Experience, B. Practice, C. Knowledge, D. Observations. Right answer is A. 25. The use of a physical punishment for class management is called A. Extinction technique, B. Satiation technique, C. Timeout technique, D. Corporal punishment. Right answer is D. 26. An assessment that is carried out through the course is called A. Initial assessment, B. Diagnostic assessment, C. Formative assessment, D. Summative assessment. Right answer is C. 27. In John Dewey's student-centered approach of learning, the role of the teacher is of A. Formal authority, B. Delegator, C. Instructor, D. Facilitator. Right answer is D. 28. Which of the following is the social characteristics of a child? A. He understands the tone of voice. I.e. love or hate. B. He recognizes his mother in the third month. C. His play is self-centered. D. All of the above. Right answer is D. 29. Which of these skills do you consider extremely important for a teacher? A. Listening skills. B. Managerial skills. C. Oration skills D. Teaching skills. Right answer is D. 30. The cognitive domain involves A. Learning. B. Knowledge. C. Manner. D. Physical movement. Right answer is B. 31. One of the basic principles of socializing individuals is A. Education. B. Caste C. Imitation D. Religion. Right answer is A. 32. The instructional approach in which objectives are presented to learners in chronological order is known as A. Chronological sequencing. B. Chronological ordering. C. Chronological teaching. Right answer is A. 33. A good teacher is one who A. is highly intelligent. B. has mastery over his teaching subject. C. lives simple life. D. has genuine interest in his students. Right answer is D. 34. Effective teaching is a function of A. perfect classroom discipline. B. students' self-learning. C. clear and precise communication. D. regular teaching. Right answer is C. 35. The determinant of teaching skill training is A. components. B. pupil teacher. C. supervisor. D. headmaster. Right answer is A. 36. Which of the following is related with teaching skill? A. blackboard writing. B. solving questions. C. asking questions. D. all the above. Right answer is D. 37. For a good communication, what is required? A. clarity of thought. B. dramatic presentation. C. speaking in a mild tone. D. speaking without pause. Right answer is D. 38. The aim of a teacher is A. to help students get through in the examination. B. to make students disciplined. C. to develop the abilities of students. D. to develop the social behaviors among students. Right answer is C. 39. Those students who frequently ask questions in the class A. should be advised to meet the teacher outside the classroom. B. should be encouraged to take part in debates in the class. C. should be encouraged to find out the answers on their own. D. should be encouraged to ask questions on a continuous basis. Right answer is B. 40. To make classroom teaching more effective, every teacher should discuss with colleagues A. analyze responses of students. B. keep him or herself abreast of development in the area in his or her subject. C. publish his or her writings. Right answer is A. 41. A teacher is effective if he or she A. explains everything in the class. B. repeats explanations for each student. C. provides a variety of learning experiences. D. answers all questions raised by students. Right answer is C. 42. Good teaching is best reflected by A. attendance of students. B. number of distinctions. C. meaningful questions asked by students. D. pin drop silence in the class. Right answer is C. 43. The main aim of classroom teaching is A. to give information. B. to develop inquiring mind. C. to develop personality of students. D. to help students pass examinations. Right answer is B. 44. To read the lesson before teaching it is called A. measurement. B. teaching practice. C. preparation. D. lesson plan. Right answer is D. 45. Realistic education system supports which progress? A. natural. B. social. C. scientific. D. technical. Right answer is C. 46. Which of the following is not an informal assessment? A. assignment. B. observation. C. rating scales. D. discussion. Right answer is A. 47. Mother is the which academy of a child? A. social. B. natural. C. optional. D. first. Right answer is D. 48. The meaning of teaching method is A. style of teaching. B. way of teaching. C. art of teaching. D. substitution of the knowledge from outer world into child's intellect. Right answer is D. 49. What a teaching method is? A. an art. B. a science. C. both art and science. D. can't say. Right answer is C. 50. The main objective of child-centered teaching method is A. to develop the learning abilities in children in free way. B. to develop the skills in children. C. to develop independence in students. D. all of the above. Right answer is D. 51. Character is developed by A. willpower. B. conduct and behavior. C. morality. D. all of the above. Right answer is D. 52. Why will you ask questions from students during the course of a lecture? A. to learn which one of the students is the brightest one. B. are the students carefully listening to your lecture? C. to learn whether students are understanding the lecture or not. D. to assist the students. Right answer is B. 53. Teaching will be effective if the teacher A. starts from what students know already. B. is a master of the subject. C. uses many instructional aids. D. has much experience in teaching the subject. Right answer is A. 54. Which from the following is not a formal assessment? A. interview. B. observation. C. project. D. quizzes. Right answer is B. 55 Women are better teacher at primary level because A. They behave more patiently with children. B. They are ready to work with low salary. C. Higher qualification is not needed in this profession. D. They have less chances in other profession. Right answer is A. 56 Women are given preferences in teaching of primary children. A. She is emotionally understanding. B. She can also cry. C. Students don't get scared. D. Men don't like this profession. Right answer is A. 57 To raise the standard of education, it is necessary to A. To evaluate students continuously. B. To give high salary to teachers. C. To revise curriculum. D. To make good school building. Right answer is A. 58 Teachers should present information to the students clearly and in interesting way, and relate this new information to the things students A. don't know. B. already know. C. willing to know. D. not willing to know. Right answer is B. 59 The field of study concerned with the construction of thought processes, including remembering, problem solving, and decision making is called A. Education. B. Pedagogy. C. Cognitive development. D. Epistemology. Right answer is C. 60 The more parts of your brain you use, the more likely you are to A. use. B. misuse. D. retain information. Right answer is D. 61 The process of reasoning from one or more given statements to reach a logically certain conclusion is called A. Deductive Reasoning B. Inductive Reasoning C. Qualitative Reasoning D. Quantitative Reasoning. Right answer is A. 62 Education is a process in which knowledge and skills are transferred A. from a few persons to few persons. B. from a few persons to a large number of people. C. from a few persons to the next generation. D. from a generation to the next generation. Right answer is C. 63 A priori knowledge is knowledge that is known independently of A. analysis. B. information. C. experience. D. evidence. Right answer is C. 64 The philosopher who for the first time mentioned the importance of play, or sports, in education was A. Socrates B. Plato C. Aristotle D. John Locke. Right answer is C. 65 The idea of practical learning means education should apply to the A. practice. B. society. C. abstract knowledge. D. real world. Right answer is D. 66 The concept of perennialism in education means school curricula should focus on what is A. important. B. everlasting. C. in demand. D. in need. Right answer is B. 67 Progressivism believes that education comes from the experience of the A. child. B. teacher. C. principal. D. society. Right answer is A. 68 Progressivism believes that children learn in A. closed environment. B. competition. C. isolation. D. community. Right answer is D. 69 The idea of teaching the whole child in the philosophy of pragmatism in education means teaching students to be good A. learners. B. thinkers. C. scientists. D. citizens. Right answer is D. 70 Which from the following is not among the five senses? A. vision. B. touch. C. smell. D. thought. Right answer is D. 71 The curriculum of educational institutes should be based on A. theory. B. practice. C. theory and practice. D. theory, practice, and research. Right answer is C. 72 The application of ideas, knowledge, and skills to achieve the desired results is called A. problem solving. B. critical thinking. C. reasoned arguments. D. deductive method. Right answer is A. 73 Educational psychology is concerned with the scientific study of A. education. B. philosophy of education. C. human learning. D. teaching methods. Right answer is C. 74 Progressive education emphasizes learning by A. reading. B. writing. C. doing. D. enjoying. Right answer is C. 75 According to famous philosophers, teaching is an A. art. B. art. C. science. D. technique. Right answer is A. 76 According to John Dewey, which side of the educational process is the basis? A. economical. B. sociological. C. philosophical. D. psychological. Right answer is D. 77 The role of teacher in inquiry-based learning is of A. instructor. B. facilitator. C. delegator. D. formal authority. Right answer is B. 78 In cooperative learning method, the role of teacher is of A. facilitator. B. delegator. C. facilitator and delegator. D. delegator and formal authority. Right answer is C. 79 Dialectic method of inquiry was contributed by A. Socrates. B. Plato. C. Aristotle. D. John Dewey. Right answer is A. 80 The psychomotor domain involves A. learning. B. knowledge. C. manner. D. physical movement. Right answer is D. 81 The skill when students try to build abstract knowledge is called A. originating. B. characterizing. C. evaluating. D. synthesizing. Right answer is B. 82 An assessment used to determine a person's ability in a particular field of studies is called A. aptitude test. B. diagnostic test. C. evaluation. D. measurement. Right answer is A. 83 Which act of teacher foster a sense of autonomy in the learning process? A. Instructor B. Facilitator C. Delegator D. Formal authority. Right answer is C. 84. Before accepting the teaching profession one must know, A. The duty of the teachers. B. The pay scale of teachers. C. The future prospects of his profession. D. The benefits available to teachers. Right answer is C. 85. The use of internet for students in their educational activities is, in your opinion, A. Takes the place of the teacher. B. Medium for good teaching. C. The wastage of precious time. D. Good medium of entertainment. Right answer is B. 86. The teaching approach in which students share knowledge with other students through a variety of structures is known as A. Cooperative Classroom Model. B. Cooperative Behavior Model. C. Cooperative Learning Model. Right answer is C. 87. Traditionally, the cards with a question, problem, or fact on one side and the answer or a related fact on the other side are called A. Observations cards. B. Placards. C. Flashcards. Right answer is C. 88. Discovery teaching is actually A. Positivist approach. B. Dialectical approach. C. Constructivist approach. D. Destructive approach. Right answer is C. 89. Teacher reads aloud to the class to improve students. A. Feelings about reading. B. Pronunciation. C. Comprehension. D. All of these. Right answer is D. 90. Reading or looking at material quickly to gain an overview of the content is the reading technique called A. Silent reading. B. Skimming. C. Scanning. Right answer is B. 91. Team activity to summarize reading is also termed as A. Group summary. B. Relay summary. C. Group presentation. Right answer is B. 92. When instruction is delivered by a person close in age or achievement to the person receiving instruction, the process is known as A. Individual tutoring. B. Peer coaching. C. Peer tutoring. Right answer is C. 93. The use of technology to enhance learning process in education is called A. IT. B. ICT. C. Information technology. D. Communication technology. Right answer is B. 94. According to Emile, the noblest work in education is to make A. Good citizen. B. Reasoning man. C. Thinker. D. Entrepreneur. Right answer is B. 95. Which from the following should be used to decrease minor inappropriate behavior? A. Praise. B. Reward. C. Ignorance. D. Strictness. Right answer is C. 96. According to John Dewey, schools must prepare students for A. Present life. B. Future life. C. Entrepreneurship. D. Research. Right answer is A. 97. Which types of persons should enter in the field of teaching? A. Meritorious persons. B. Devoted and laborious persons. C. General persons. D. Economically weak persons. Right answer is B. 98. The truth of the conclusion of an inductive argument is A. Certain. B. Experience. C. Observation. D. Probable. Right answer is D. 99. To increase the confidence of the teacher, a selection of suitable strategy is needed. B. Well preparation of the material aids is required. C. Well preparation of the content is required. D. Classroom discipline is a must. Right answer is C. 100. A very important quality of a good student is A. To come to school on time. B. To be quiet and well behaved. C. To always obey the teacher. D. To make an effort to understand what is taught in class. Right answer is D. Best of luck for your exam. Consider to subscribe if we're new here.